Wanted to do a quick little video here doing a overview of a comparison between a Ruger 1022 build I've done and the Ruger American Rimfire Target, which is in the background for this. Haven't done anything to this. Straight out the door before you put the scope on. That's going to run you close to $400 these days. You get a decent deal on one brand new, and you'll be lucky to find one used anytime in the immediate future. The 1022 build, I've done a video on that. I won't go into a lot of the details with you. The Hogue stock I have on here, it's great for hunting outdoors. It's not the precision stock that's perfect for this. With that being said, it's pretty darn good if you don't tighten down that nut to the frame. I've been really pleased with the performance once I broke that code. I don't even put 10 pounds of torque pressure on there with a wrench anymore. I just once it's in place, I give it a couple more screws. That barrel is free floated if you do that, and that'll help you out as far as accuracy goes a lot. A lot of variables in shooting today, as any day when you're shooting outdoors. So didn't have the perfect environment. All you know, 22 ammo's not perfect, and Lord knows I am not perfect. I don't claim to be a Olympic marksman here, but we did do pretty decent on some of these groups, enough to make you scratch your head if you're debating on buying one of these rifles over the other. I can definitely help you consider getting the Ruger American Rimfire Target. It did some pretty good shots when the wind wasn't blowing too far. All this is at the 50 yards. That group there, that was one of my first groups. Once I verified I was pretty close on target, it did pretty darn good. It ate it up. And down here, that's a decent group. And yeah, tore it up pretty darn well there. So there are some pretty good groups overall with that target, and there's some bad ones too. Some of that's me, a lot of that's the wind. As you can see, I got some good groupings there, but unfortunately that wind pushed some of it off the bullseye, and some of that, of course, is me. I'm far from perfect. But then we go over to the 1022, and it doesn't look terrible, guys. Some of these in the wind, I shot this later, so some of that might be fatigue for me. The wind did pick up later on. It was gusting pretty good, but none of these groups are terrible. That one right there is pretty darn good, and got some consistent wind blowing right there at the end. And aside from it not being at bullseye, that's about as good as you're going to get for a group with a 22 at 50 yards. So I don't have a straight answer for you as one being superior to the other. I would say there's an advantage when you're shooting a bolt action. It's inherently just the design of bolt actions. They are going to be more accurate as a rule. And just a fact, it's going to make you think a little bit more when you're making those shots, when you have to take the time out to cycle that bolt. You can get sloppy real quick if you're not thinking when you're got a semi-automatic rifle, and you can take another shot just as quick as you can pull that trigger. So that's going to be a cause. Again, these on the right side, which I'm showing you right now, That's going to be the 10-22. And all these are 5-shot groups. So, not terrible. And again, I shot this second. The wind was whipping pretty good there, which between the fatigue on me and the wind, that's going to make things worse. The Rimfire Target, so again, what I'm showing you right now, pretty respectable groups. And the Rimfire Target, I've shot probably not 1,000 rounds through it yet, so I'm still becoming one with that rifle. The 10-22, I've been shooting that thing longer than some of you watching this may have lived, so I'm pretty used to shooting that. So just thought I'd share this with you, give you a little bit more oversight and interest and debate on which you think is going to be better. The Ruger American Rimfire Target, and that's a group you won't be ashamed of right there. Or, again, the 10-22, 5-shot group. And all this, guys, was with CCI standard velocity. You can get more expensive ammunition that I do think is better that I've shot out of both of these rifles. You're going to pay for it. My go-to round, the vast majority of the time, is going to be that CCI standard velocity. There's a flavor of SK I like on perfect days. It's going to help you out 1/16 and 1/8 of an inch. So maybe you can do, if you're doing everything perfect, you can make one hole. Wolf Match Extra, another great round that, again, it might get you a 1/16 of an inch difference when you're doing everything perfect. But unless you're already there doing everything perfect, I would say get the CCI standard velocity. Great round, and it is going to do what you need, shooting inside of 100 yards, easy. And I've shot metal plates 200 yards without a problem, just with the right windage with a good quality scope. Hope this gets you a little more insight. Feel free to comment, share your thoughts, observations, and experience, and I'll talk with you in the future. God bless.